We now spend 1/3 of our lives on our phones. Like any relationship, we should regularly pause and reflect on our shared history. Do they treat us as well as we deserve? Here are 4 key ways our relationship with our phones is like an abusive relationship: codependency, emotional isolation, tracking, and unequal power dynamics. Red flag number 1: codependency. Like a partner, our phone is the first and last thing we interact with for nearly 40% of us, 65% for Gen Z and millennials. That instinctive reach for your phone without name, and then repeating that 12 minutes later for all your waking hours. It's monopolizing your attention and distracting you from hard work and real-life conversations. Which leads us to red flag number 2: emotional isolation. Even the sight of a phone disrupts the emotional connection between people. So if 89% of people checking their phones during social gatherings, feeling a little more alone wouldn't be unusual. Even only 11% of parents report no interruption from phones during their time with their children. Time which is already 3 times less than what children under 14 spend on their phones in comparison with time spent with their family. Our reliance on our phones to connect us deeply is like expecting something healthy from the vending machine. Red flag number 3: tracking. Like a stalker following you everywhere, we are being constantly tracked on our phones. And for a generation who has grown up on the internet, we are surprisingly unaware of the different ways we are being catalogued. Just 28% of internet users aged 16 to 24 and 40% of all ages were aware of the 4 surveyed ways companies collect personal data: cookies, social media accounts, website registrations, and smartphone apps. But this data is really only being used for the 3 S's: science, selling, and surveillance. And these are not necessarily in our best interest. Red flag number 4: unequal power dynamics. The world favors big tech firms, and their money allows them to shrug off billions of dollars worth of fines. So now that seemingly everyone has a phone and there are apps to meet any need you might have, we can't imagine our lives without them. It feels too complicated and convenient to change. We're not doomed to this dystopia though. How to break this cycle of toxicity. Step 1: a digital or dopamine detox. Take an extended period of time, such as a month, away from the non-necessary activities of your phone. Commit your time to non-screen-based activities you enjoy doing, such as reading, hanging out with friends, joining a local group, or artistic hobbies. This will give you space to understand yourself and what needs you're trying to meet when you usually use your phone. You'll have clarity on how exactly you want to use your time going forward, so you can set up rules and guidelines as you wish, making it easier to close the app when you said you would. Step 2: design your environment. The tech companies have no problem using addictive features like infinite scroll and pull to refresh, so we can use the same psychological insights to our own advantage to fit our own values. Use an alarm clock. Use the desktop versions of social media. This is digital minimalism in practice. Step 3: regularly reflect on your needs and usage, repeating steps 1 and 2 as needed. These actions are for individuals to take, but we need change on a systemic level so that we have guardrails against even more dystopian futures. More education and awareness leading to a culture change. Experimenting with different business models such as cooperatives. Design ethics, like how the Center for Humane Technology advocates for one-click safer. Treating big tech like public utilities. Using more open source hardware and software. These possibilities are in the making or still being imagined, but nothing will change if we can't look away from our phones for more than 12 minutes and build something better.